everybody. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming, family. So we're got an exciting pack full of magic show today as we're continuing the series Tale of Two Wizards. And so come on by, ask some questions, amplify your magic. We're going to go deep. I have a special guest on today, Amir. And can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself for those that don't know already, even though we've done multiple shows, and shame on you for not watching them. Go watch them after this. But can you tell the audience who you are, how you got to how you are?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with you in your presence. I'd like to extend my warmest greeting to our wonderful audience, ladies and gentlemen. I love you. Thank you for being here. I'm Amir Jahangiri, the Wizard of Wivenhoe. I'm an eternal seeker of wisdom. Like most of you, I have dedicated myself to the path of spiritual mastery and healing. I've studied many modalities, and so here I am in your presence at a capacity of service. I hope that what we talk about is going to be enjoyable and beneficial for you.
Okay, wonderful. And how's the lives looking on your end? It looks like I have at least your Facebook synced up. I don't know about your YouTube.
Yeah, Facebook, even if it's only Facebook, I can add to the YouTube channel later. So let's see. Oh yeah, I'm live on Facebook. This is good.
So yeah, we're going to be doing readings for people for free. I should have put that in the title.
Beautiful.
That will probably excite people, but whatever. We'll do that next show. Anyway, so yeah, free readings. So come and get those. Ask your questions. What's going on with you guys out there in the audience? You want healing and magic upgrades, learning about your future fortune, all kinds of stuff we can amplify. But we'll like while we're waiting for those questions and all that to build up, we'll go deep into some things. So Amir, tell us a little bit about your services you offer people.
Well, at the present, I'm offering a service that I call the energy car wash. Now, the mighty human is a beautiful and complex machine, the result of hundreds of millions of years of evolution and engineering and billions of years of natural evolution. Sometimes things get caught in our energy structure of the nature of trauma, residue. And so this I can perceive in all dimensions laid upon each other. Also accessing the Akashic records relating to when and where significant injuries occur. And so then using shamanic techniques, I can break up the blockage or get it out all in one chunk, depending on the nature and quality of each blockage or injury. So ideally, health is a state of balance and perfect flow of life. That prana or chi, that life force that animates everything to begin with. Without it, these bodies are just corpses. Now, it's not just about chemical energy or chemical reactions or electrical signals going through the body. There's more than just the mitochondria or that neurochemical set of complex activities. There's a lot going on, an energetic scaffolding that supports the body. It's not just the DNA code that organizes matter. There's a whole set of energetic codes that supports the construction, growth, health, and vitality of this magnificent machine. So there's a lot going on right now on Earth. People are really awakening to certain fundamental truths. The mighty human is more than just the physical. And so they begin to observe evidence of this in their own life. And that's beautiful. Once you see evidence of your infinite multidimensional nature, there is no going back. And so helping people realize this, the healing is always done by the person themselves. Now, regardless of how this process is kickstarted, whether it's through a medicine or through pressure or maybe through energy work, it's always the person that does the healing. So facilitating healing through a energy car wash. That's pretty much what I do. I've got a little baby YouTube channel. I've got about 120 full healing sessions and interviews. So if people want to see how I work and what I do, they can have a look at some of these sessions, whatever calls them forth. And so this is the result of combining different modalities. The foundation and the structure is shamanic work, mostly. The wisdom that has been eternally with our ancestors, it's just as vibrant and effective today. So soul shard retrievals, or basically portal work, being able to go back and forward in time or enter other dimensions. Sometimes you need to really follow the string, go through the portal, see what's on the other side, and discover who's messing with a person, or what collective, or what species, or what timeline. Resolve the problem at the source. This is another thing that our ancestors were always benefiting from through shamans. And so the brilliant thing about this kind of work is it's not localized. It doesn't matter where you are or when you are. It seems to be effective. It doesn't really depend on the muscles and the body. It's very much so an energetic and soul type of healing. So that's a little bit about myself. And so, Sean, if I may ask, you also do the honor and just talk about your approach towards healing. What is health, and how to go about resolving issues in the people that find their way towards you?
Oh, thank you, brother. A lot. I'm very explorative, so I try to learn as many different skills as possible. I'm not hampered down to one, though. I organize a lot of data and knowledge, and then figure out which is the best procedure to go forth with each person I see based on their goals and what they want to mainly focus on. Because I can just pack in data for our sessions like crazy, and you're gonna get a bang out of your buck. So record the crap out of it. You're gonna forget most of it. And this is constant with people. So I'm constantly learning more healing methods, and I have many teachers, and mostly with my aspect of my source connection and knowingness library, amplifying into that and translating it to me. But just so many to name, and it will be even I want to tune into new methods in this and go into some deep things and things we share and stuff that we can really do for the audience, so that we can show just what the human spirit and capabilities are. So I like to find the core wounds, the things that get to the underlining. Most people go in health, in the physical, because it's hard to understand and translate deeper layers to the emotional and the mental and the spiritual and the soul, and that whole river of energy. And I like to get to the core in the spirit and figure out and translate what it needs at its core, so that the healing takes greater effect, stronger, and the illness disintegrates. And because it's going to a reminder, and it wants attention. And I spur remembering, abundance. I go into exorcisms, depossession, clearing of attachment, amplify the generators in the person's body of empowerment. Just so many things, like any ability you can name of. We'll be amplifying third eye stuff, amplifying telepathy, every sense, your superhuman technology, your superhuman love, your greater ability to explore in multidimensional body tech, and whatever you guys want to go into. So ask some really intricate questions if you can. There's no limit to what we can go into and answer, and we'll be both answering each of your questions. So please go into it. And if we have any volunteers for readings and what they want to go into, we can get the ball rolling. And otherwise, we'll kind of like tune into each other, and then go into other cool magic and Akashic record stuff. Because I don't I have a few friends that are good at Akasha, but don't have it's a rare ability, so not many people are good at knowingness. So we can go into some cool concepts that we didn't even have on our mind or think about, and we can ask each other that, and there will be some profound things that will come out of this cool thing. And so if you like this, smash that like, leave a nice comment in the live now, so feel free to comment. We'll see it. And share this video out. And the more we'll do these shows, because we were planning on doing this as a series every once in a while, is not many wizards in the world, as they've been killed off a lot, unfortunately. And we're trying to bring back the magic and psionic renaissance for the light force, of course, because of course there are some dark magicians out there. We do no harm, but take no shit. And we are ultimately all of you, and we don't want to harm you. And we want to amplify your empowerment as the light branches of the tree of all existence and consciousness, so that we're empowered to make a better future and bring our reflected, seen aspects of heaven to earth. Thank you all. Okay, so I'll ask you a thing that's interesting. What is your perspective on how we can bring greater levels of magic back into existence? We went into this a little bit previously, and then I'll go into this a little bit more. But we will see. There's a little bit of a disappointment with some people, especially like I've had some students in the past, especially kids, that they'll ask me, why can't I do superpowers now? And I'll be like, well, you can, but those are the abilities you got to work at, and you got to do effort for, because it's a high difficulty game. And they kind of black out that I say that they can, and they feel like they can't, and that it's not worth it. And it's like, well, it will be easier and easier as we take back the power for the light, for the planet, and make this environment more safer, so their energy can be emitted without fear of it being stolen. Because the Earth has timelines where a bunch of superheroes exist, and there's various things that are going on, like government trying to hunt them down and then control them and kill them, and as well as the whole, if you've ever seen that show, The Boys timeline, where superheroes get in the hands of psychopaths, and that doesn't look good. So there's like a moral code system that this timeline's trying to set up, to where those big tier abilities don't end up in the hands of the dark. And so as long as that's maintained and built, it will flourish more and more and more as it's built up of what is needed in the foundation, like moral code, which is deeply lacking in our society. So yeah, magic, bringing the higher level of magic back. What's in your perspective?
Well, this is the birthright of humanity. Now, it's very much so is a matter of remembering. There are many souls that have gone through the rites of passage, and yet coming into a new body, they don't remember. Then there's the matter of this vessel itself. So depending on the bloodline we are born into, we may have inherited so many problems, deficiencies, genetic codes, karmic conditions. So the body needs to be strengthened and purified. The physical vessel most certainly makes a difference. So being healthy, being strong, being nourished, good food, clean food, good rest, exercise, good mood, these are just the foundations of it. So it's a matter of reclaiming and healing the inner animal, the wisdom of the body, and billions of years of evolution. These are ours, reclaiming that. Many people don't understand the steps of healing or ascension. Many talk about healing the inner child. Not enough is said about healing the inner animal, the human animal. So understanding our sensations, our emotions, our instincts, and taking advantage of them, they most certainly have a place in helping us survive. But then comes mastery over these. So although we claim them and we possess them, they do not rule over us. Then there's a matter of taking personal responsibility, not being in victim mentality. That, oh, this happened to me, so-and-so did this to me. No, 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 these are just experiences and you're the driver. And so understanding that we are creating at every single moment. That mantle of responsibility, self-responsibility is the next step. And then comes the healing of the seat of the soul, understanding that everything is consciousness. That's the next key. Because if you want to try to understand in the form of abstract logic like mathematics or physics, or maybe in human linguistics, you're going to fall short. Soul language is different. That language of consciousness, that is also built into us. So that's important in order to access storehouses of wisdom that is not available publicly. It's all available to us energetically. Then is discernment, that built-in mechanism of true or false, yes or no. That's the next one, again associated with the throat. And then we really get into the good stuff, the woo-woo that people are looking for. Usually upper energy centers, the jade gate and third eye and crown. The bridge between the physical and the non-physical. So let's look at the crown. It's the understanding of the wisdom of the soul, translating it for the monkey brain so the mighty human can understand. But then there's so much we have available, all these shards of the infinite soul, past and future lives, other time streams and dimensions, perhaps other universes that we have a presence in. This is all available. So when this is considered, people will be overwhelmed with joy that they don't need any guru. They don't need to go and jump through loops or run on a hamster wheel. All that is required is powerful connection to the self, the source of all things. And that is where the magic happens. That flow, it's not very much an accumulation of power like we would think in the 3D realm. Oh, I've got this and it is full of precious, right? Whatever, coins, money. It's about the capacity to flow. So you may be chilling and nothing is happening, and then you have the ability to channel the force of a hurricane or lightning or the sun through you. That is true power. And the other thing is that people, their minds have become a little bit, let's say, imbalanced through the way that magic is depicted. All these fantastical things that Hollywood would show, or they come in the movies, they're exaggerated for the dramatic effect, for the entertainment effect. True power is a subtle thing. It is subtle and gentle. And so the calmness of the mind and the energy system is very conducive to be able to understand and wield this subtle and yet immensely powerful force that belongs to us. And so towards this, bringing in more magic, it's important to be free from the shackles of trauma and harmful belief systems. The trauma causes injury or blockages, restricting us from really utilizing power because we are afraid of some perceived danger that is illusory, or some pain that doesn't exist anymore. That is difficult. But most most toxic are the belief systems that would make you accept that you are small. That is also another type of shackle that has to be shed. And then towards this liberation, breaking up blockages and shedding that false limiting identity, the process I have found to be very beneficial is mantra. These words of power, iteration, using your voice repeatedly. Again, consider lifetime after lifetime. These traumas and illusions build up, so it didn't happen overnight. You can't expect it to be undone overnight either. So that path of self-love, connection to the beloved source of all things, and then anchoring your light into the planet, because Earth most certainly has something to say about magic that happens within her domain. So, but there are many ways to climb a mountain. This one is my way. There are all other sorts of paths. Maybe I've taken the wonky path, instead of eating like this, I've gone around and I'm eating like this. Still, it seems to have worked for me. Many, many solutions exist.
Well said. Climbing the mountain and all the paths up there. So yeah, everyone's got their own path to get there, and we'll see as magic's coming back into existence of belief and awareness, and bringing the higher levels and the strong foundations as it's been suppressed, and the big invasions and a lot of things stealing it. And so all those interesting paths of analyzing the before and after and what's the difference and what happened, similar to like the giant trees being cut down, or big invasions where large authorities got destroyed and then their stuff taken. And then where are those things? And then the generation of magic and what it takes to bring that back in your local environment. As I've seen different places like Mount Shasta, for instance, is able to create a higher dimension locally with its own mountain that's at least holding back any darkness. And California's got a lot coming at it, but it's still able to maintain itself. And there's all these places that have been shut down that aren't able to maintain themselves, and then individuals that are growing in themselves. And the lessons of that and the strengthening. So as an example of some of the things I've been tuning into that are interesting, I'd love to ask you, but then feel free to start thinking in your mind of some profound things to ask me, and then I'll tune into that, and we'll kind of go back and forth. And to set up everyone for after we do the profound questions to each other, the type of questions people are asking for us to tune into them, like with Chrissy, can you look at my son who is severe autistic level 3 rage episodes break all his shit on a daily basis? I think it might be better if we take a call. So I'd recommend you guys either add me on Facebook, and I'll bring up the call on my telephone and bring it to the mic. Or you can message me on Facebook or whatever, as well as here this email. You can send your number and I'll call you. I'd recommend it and tell me next to your phone if you can do Telegram or WhatsApp or whatever, because I don't want to surprise Bill or something because we're doing this for free. So send your information of what you are okay calling me, having me call you on PsionicLeague@gmail.com. Send that to me. Or if you already added me on Facebook, feel free to message me that you want to do a little reading, and we'll both read you. And this is our first show like this, so we're working on the kinks. So be patient with us, and we'll get everything ready. Sometimes we get fuzzy voices, but we'll see what we can do. And feel free to tell us anytime if the audio isn't great. We'll adjust it. And so when I was reading into some there's big mystery schools and teachers, extra dimensional witches and wizards that can grant big things. There's an internal third eye mystery school for a lot of it to unlock deeper levels of magic. And they're definitely big on seeing if you're worthy and proving yourself and that you can protect the ability and then building it up. Because they're not just going to grant you a big ass ball of power, because you're going to become a target and then it's going to get stolen. That's going to suck. So there are things like the biggest main one for amplified greater magic I'm reading is an ascension path in where cities manifest. But you can also go into Vision Quest where the meditation may actually take a few hours, but most people aren't willing to sit down for that long. So that's why it eludes a lot of people to where you go on essentially a vision quest in the ascension path to earning the ability. And that's one of the biggest ones and most that I recommend, because it's the most centered, internal, and greatest power output as well, so that you're going to get more out of it than the other things. Second one is rites. And this concept isn't actually well known to most people. They've heard of it a little bit, but they don't exactly know what it is. It goes into our very words, writing, as well as rites of passage that has been taken out of our culture, where people don't get the rites of passage of essentially being born, puberty, where they like coming to becoming a man, where they usually face fears or a pain or like a challenge of some type. A lot of cultures that are indigenous still have this. And then going in, I've heard mostly witches have it going on, where they have it for the menstrual cycle when it first starts, and like things used with the meaning of the blood, the moon cycle, and what that means, as well as going into menopause or croning, and then the rite of passage for death and transition to the afterlife and a greater successful death. Though those are the main surviving ones. No, there are certain mystery schools that I've heard that still have them remaining, like the White Brotherhood, the Order of the Golden Dawn, things like that. And some of those will go with some interesting celestial things, protection, a sacred space, consecrating a place of power, granting an ability in the spirit, between worlds, a spirit and the physical. But I'm talking about the ones that are pretty much near extinct, ETs, inner Earth groups, and maybe some really hidden mystery schools still got them going on. But essentially, it's a change and transitional period in a ceremonial or meditative vision quest space, where inward or external, where you go through the phase of not having something to taking up the man's place of responsibility and the power and what all entails in an ability, and then making it to where you have it. So that's the kind of sub. There's also
Beautiful.
a bit of a dangerous pathway that I don't really recommend to people, because you got to have a lot of stuff. Otherwise, you're playing with fire. Though it depends on, so like contracts, that I recommend a lot of contract revocation, because there are things from past lives and things that add shit to you. So take that in mind, that there is some dark things that go along with that. And also, you don't want to just make contract deals, agreements, exchanges with just anything. They have to be very trustworthy. And it's like, I would recommend making it where it's a commerce thing, where you understand what they want, that doesn't take anything horrible from you, like a soul. That's stupid. And where you're doing a service to them that you're good at. And so I'd recommend learning quite a number of abilities that aren't easy for beings to just learn. And some people are already born with unique abilities that they're fond of, but most people don't even tune into those. So there's a whole amount of requirements before, as well as the making the solidity of the contract so it's unbreakable, understanding contract law. So there's a lot you need to learn. So I don't recommend that one until people have gained all the tech to make it so it doesn't go south for them. And also, that can be like giving away your power if it's not a equal exchange contract that's well defined and not letting anything to sink in with weird rules or added shit. And yeah, so you got to have full disclosure on it all and be able to revoke it if it's not in sound layers. And that's still weaker than the other pathways. Anyway,
Yes.
so that's the concept. What do you have anything?
You know, it's beautifully said. Now, just moving to a different vantage point or point of view, the soul shard can get brighter or get dimmed out. Now, connection to source, seeking that energy of the divine, will nourish you, make you stronger. And then acts of degeneration and violation of universal law diminish that divine spark. So that law of cause and effect applies to your soul, meaning that repeated acts of violation and dishonor have the potential to completely snuff out that flame. And so in that case, a being will become parasitic, needs to sustain itself, and so it will continue using the laws of the universe to harvest that life force that it no longer possesses. And regaining that connection to source requires genuine willingness and the preparedness to undo damage that has been done, paying for the mistakes and so on. So yes, certain types of contracts will result in karma. That's a real thing. The lessons have to be learned. And then towards the lost traditions, many of our cultural and oral traditions have been decimated. Many of these rites of passage that exist in smaller tribes, we don't have them anymore. So we're left kind of at a state where we really need to reinvent the wheel, unfortunately. But we are a different version of human compared to those noble ancestors. So that trauma of losing our wisdom, losing or forgetting about that connection to source, and being exposed to this holographic reality for so many hundreds of thousands of years, in point of fact, have made us stronger. We are different from our ancestors. We are much more capable. And so, as we regain our connection to source and memories of the most fundamental laws of the cosmos, what we are going to be able to do has never been seen in human history. So we have to look at ourselves really in honesty. We are capable, we don't remember, but that eternal stream of wisdom, whether it's in the form of the Akashic records or the divine library of life or memories stored in our soul, we can retrieve them. Now, this is never going to be easy. It requires valor. If you're a scaredy cat and you're used to having everything McDonald's style, meaning easy peasy, lemon squeezy, that's not going to work. You've got to really put in energy, and the energy is towards the magnificent you. Of course, you are worthy, but you've got to put in a certain amount of energy and consciousness and dedication into it. So that lack of fear, that would be one of the major things that these rites of passage would teach a young human. Boy or girl, makes no difference. If you are afraid, you might as well die right now and save everybody and yourself a whole lot of trouble. So killing the fear, that is the first thing. Now the next one that Sean also touched upon is integrity. This is monumentally important. Even sometimes a being is tested. You're given a little droplet of something really spectacular, and then you are observed. Do you crash and burn, or do you use it with wisdom and grace? Do you do it in a beautiful way, reinforcing the laws of the cosmos, facilitating the evolution of consciousness in yourself and others? Or do you become tyrannical? Do you turn it on its head and violate it? Goodness knows we've seen so many examples of this in our modern day, where these pieces of knowledge and technology are badly abused. There's always this cycle. What goes around comes around. I think now we're at this stage of cleansing, Sean. Lots of these violations are getting rectified, going all the way back out of the illusion of time. Hey, you idiots, you shouldn't have done this. Boom, spiritual prison. Oh, you guys are nutters. You're too far gone to be fixed. Wiped completely out, recycled, going back to source for recycling. And then that tolerance, that resilience, that stamina that so many souls have demonstrated lifetime after lifetime, that's going to come into fruition. Still, you need to push a little bit. Nobody's going to carry you.
Well said. Lovely. And okay. And we'll go into a little bit of a thing with our audience in answering questions, but like feel free to tell me when you got a profound question for me, and I'll answer that too.
Okay, so I've got one here from Elaine. If some ability has been taken from you, how do you get it back? And how do you discern if you should retrieve it?
Okay. Yeah, did you want to answer that, and then I'll answer it? And are you
Sure.
able to put that on screen or no?
This is on my Facebook. So
Okay.
with Elaine,
That's
I'm honored to be a friend of this wonderful powerhouse of a lady. My wonderful esteemed friend, you have done everything correctly in the recent months with great dedication and unyielding force of will. Do not fear that illusion of loss or something being missing, for in fact you have beaten your own high score. Amongst the numerous incarnations you've had, this lifetime you are peaking, going beyond anything that was ever available to you. Please continue, because something incredibly profound is about to unfold, and you're going to blow your own socks off. As this comes in, you're going to be dancing with joy. You're right at the cusp. Please do continue. Nothing is missing, my friend. Don't be concerned about that. You're just adding to that which is already highly impressive.
Okay, so you're saying, oh, can you hear me?
Yes?
So you're saying as an individual aren't missing things? Okay. Do you
She's
believe in
retrieved
like
missing
other
parts.
people can miss things?
In general, we've got the replication or sampling of soul codes. Now, source energy is infinite, continuous and infinite. You can zoom in for as long as you want, and there's still data and detail. Or you can zoom out, and then there's still data and detail. So, technological sampling, it's in intervals. It is never going to be the real deal, just a pure approximation of the real thing. And so the other thing about soul codes or energy, although it may be misappropriated, stolen, just because it is not with the owner, doesn't change the fact that it belongs to them. And
Right.
so they can do a little trick on their energy. So somebody has stolen some of your codes, you transmute it into super glue, or divine fire, or cement, right? You visualize this mechanism of harvesting like pipework, and then cement sets in and the whole thing is done. They will never harvest you or anybody ever again. There's so many things that can be done. So in my humble opinion, you're connected to the infinite ocean of source. Some idiot has stole a bucket. They've got to pay for that. But still, amongst that infinity of wisdom and life that comes into you, that is neither here nor there. Just focus on the truest aspect of you, which is the divine, and let the universe balance itself out.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So like you're trying to give her a level 11 ability, and she's on retrieval. So, and this is not to downplay anyone or anything. So like I'll try to nothing's being like any pathway anyone choose out there. I have gone into the abilities of retrieval and like soul shard retrieval and shamanism that goes into power retrieval, all that. It's good to learn the ability. It's not like unneeded, though. What Amir is talking about is if you're going deeper into the holographic level, you're transcending the holographic attachment, in which the imprint of the reality from another's reality onto you of, let's say, oh, you're getting stuff stolen, you're fractured, wounded, and things happen. And he's like talking about getting up under that and rejecting that and shining your light of your infinite, unaltered self that's underneath it all, and crumbling away that illusion and finite reality, which is evil in the beginning, and they didn't earn it, and they stole tech to even do that. Yeah. So you can choose to do that, but that's a little harder. And he made it fairly simple. It's nice. But like it's kind of a cultivation thing. And it's hard to kind of grasp. Like I remember when I was at the stages where before I was thinking about that, so I can kind of understand where people can come from. So that's the thing to work towards. Now, if you're at the level where you're just trying to understand theft on my property versus my space and what's your righteous property that's away from you, that's been taken, or whatever, like all these wounds that have happened in the past, where you could you also can trans space and time to where everything collapses into a singularity, and there is no difference between a part of you that's separate from you in space if you can collapse it. But that is also advanced. So if people want to just practice retrieval, that's also fine if you want to do that. And that builds towards your goal of the next level of that is with what Amir is saying. How do you know? Well, how do you know if you had something stolen? Well, if you're in that rally, which is totally fine if you want to be in that. And people are in suffering and are wounded and ill, so it's hard to get out of that when you're facing it and overwhelmed with it. So work with what you got and what you can make steps in empowerment and reality. If you're operating on that layer and that's easier for you, how would you know is, well, if you're old, most people I know and I've seen, especially in this chat, are older than this planet, have a lot older than this galaxy, and have been multiple places, including multiple realities of different rules where things are easier and they can fly around, they can create stuff, they can bring stuff out of the ether, and it's like acts like a dream realm in lucidity. It's much easier than this permeated of density, many rules reality. So if you're not kind of flying around and able to do all those things that you did in other places, there could be a variety of things. Either it's suppressed, there's a bigger weight on it that needs to be trained. It's locked in, like a lot of the people that are in the secret space firm have altars, like they have the altar dormant and locked away with the ability in them. So sometimes it's still in you. If you had a wounding event where like a predatory spirit or species came and interaction with you, and there will be symptoms for sure with that, like anxiety, PTSD out of nowhere. And it's like, why am I having this? As well as influence in your reality that's against your sovereignty to mess with things, because they will also be able to use it as a remote control in your reality. If they go off with it, and if it's an ability that is able to still function while separate from the body, because there are different varieties of that depending on where you source the ability, and sometimes it shuts off automatically when it's released. So sometimes there's an attachment that drains and siphons the ability off to a distance because it requires it to be with you to operate. But sometimes the ability can still operate from a distance, and then they use that and harvest off that. If a lot of people are limited down to where they can't do that, then you might have something already. Most beings have the holographic imprint of reality onto them, of fractured, in pain, not fully whole, which can always be you can have the opposite of as whole, light, infinite, unaltered kind of original source blueprint shine out of their heart and push that back, and even go back into the time at the wounding event and put enough force to prevent that. And that's the ability that is the goal to reach towards. But yeah, if you want to practice the ability of retrieval, all the parts of you are still quantum entangled with you in like a cord, and you can yank them back in. And we have those abilities. So if you want help with that, we can teach you, as well as the layers that like go towards the transition of the level that Amir is talking about, where you go into like 5D or above consciousness and make shit happen and outperform the imposing reality bubble imprinted on you. Did you have any questions that also came in your chat? And I'll also go into mine too.
So one question from Elaine. Dear Elaine, I hope that this answer was enough to give you some ideas, some clarity. So this is all that I've got on my side. So let's see if anybody has asked anything on your chat.
Sure. So Quincy Roser asked if well, he asked two questions. One is, telekinesis is in something you is that something you can just pick up and do for most people, or is it a lifestyle? And then also asked, something's been coming into my room at night lately and keeping me awake. If you want to take a quick remote view with that, I'd appreciate it. So feel free to whatever you want to go into with that, and I'll add stuff to as well.
Okay, so telekinesis, meaning moving objects with your consciousness. Honestly, I think 90% of it already have a very subtle version of it built in. Usually you can start the process by, first of all, observing somebody do it. That breaks one set of beliefs that it is not possible, full stop. You see it as possible. Next one is that you start doing it. Oh, is it possible for me also? A very useful device for this is something called a psi wheel. So you've got a square piece of paper, you fold it along the diagonals, you put the, so it looks like a little umbrella with four corners, you put it on a tip of a needle or something that reduces friction, and then you can start practicing, maybe using your hands, maybe gazing on it, and then you start seeing the little thing starting to move. Oh my God, it must be wind. Then you put it underneath an aquarium or a large glass jar where there's no airflow, and you move it. Or you can use, instead of paper, aluminium. The greatest I've seen is people actually moving around pencils or Coca-Cola cans, left and right, and it moves, and so it is possible. there seems to be still, Sean talked about locking of abilities in the reality. There seems to be some heaviness in our current version of the hologram, shared consciousness, that makes this difficult. If you wish to enhance this, you should reduce the effects of the holographic reality. So certain places of purity and practice, like monasteries, they used to build these, they still do, in places that are difficult to access. And so the people there are all aligned. They're able to shield their reality from the collective subconscious. And in those places, you see that these abilities have the potential to really manifest. We get levitating monks. We get people moving stones and boulders. We're in the deepest, darkest doo-doo in human history. So if you're wanting to do this in the middle of New York City, it's not going to happen. If you go into nature and levitate a little bit out of that boundary and heaviness of the matrix, it's going to get a little bit more. Go up somewhere into this monastery in Bhutan, up in the Himalayas, perhaps something even greater will happen. There are codes. I know people do have the ability to do an empowerment, like what you would have with Reiki. A master just gives you that flavor of energy, the body and the energy structure remembers, oh my God, this was always with me. And so that is also a thing. It is possible. It can be cultivated. So I'll give the floor to Sean, and then probably after we can have a little look and see who's visiting you at night.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the environment's a big factor in like what's held up in space to allow you to manifest them. I used to do telekinesis like a lot more. When I was a kid, I got into it. When I learned about this chi stuff, very passionate about it. You know, a lot of the skeptic, when you go through it, it's like a mud pile of skeptic videos trying to tell you it's not real. And then you find a few and it's like, wow, this might be real. And then since you get the psi wheel and other things, moving light objects, and I practiced that for a week or 2 weeks, and I was able to get it, and then able to do it from a distance, able to do it on command, teeter-totter, turn in any direction you want, wearing a mask so it's not breath and there's no wind kind of going on, put a like glass bowl over it, be able to turn it. Then I moved up to light things like straws and like doing chi blasts and what's the Elmer's glue sticks and ping pong balls. And my biggest one I was able to move was tin like soda cans. And after, you know, I'll do that and I'll practice that. Like I'd recommend having to practice it every day in order to get up to that level. And then after, like, you know, a lot of, you know, things take our time, we get distracted. I realized the ability goes down in effectiveness. And I was like, I found out the energy gets drained, the effective ability gets fucked with. And it's like there's a matrix trying to stop people from making these abilities. So then I put a lot of my effort into combating that and pushing that back and understanding how it works, internal and external. And I've been getting really good at that. So a lot more abilities come online. Telekinesis is one of those more top tier, high level targeted abilities because it goes beyond just moving objects. You can affect more the reality and the timeline and everything, in like the Force. You know, a lot of people can just look at the Jedis for like all the concepts that they come up with that. So there's multiple types of blocks that have manifested. There are, of course, people that have been able to manifest. They've put a lot of dedication in, or their soul contract to be a strong representation to it, to keep that flame alive and inspire people. And the people that don't have that directly to be strong and their main pathway, and like a lot of these, the ones that are really good at this, meditate for years in the forest kind of thing, and caves and all this, and get it to where they've purified all the limitation, and are able to maintain it strong even when they go back into the world, which they'll come across even the heavinesses of that and having to recharge up and it taking a lot of energy to do. So eventually this ability will be stronger in the future for the masses. So don't give up, pursue it. But also there's reasons and soul contracts and all that build up. And a lot of the people like myself are not like the main flame holders for like showing that to the world. And even some of the flame holders only show it locally, and their master lineage that passes down the torch to them get upset when they show it off in public, because it's also like a big incursion of things that want that ability, and then it becomes a weight for them. So that, again, we're in a world that's been taken over by the dark forces, so they like to steal shit. So because they can't earn it, evil doesn't earn it. That's also going into the previous question, why there is theft and to begin with, and reclaiming your power and the necessary of that reality maintained, where you are maintained sovereignty and you haven't had things stolen, like whole, like maintaining that kind of thing, and make it shine brightly and bigger. But there will also, so there'll be systems of draining and targeting on people. For Quincy, going into, for him specifically, well, I know him, so it's similar to some of the things I deal with, where there's asshole programs that try to dominate as many of the bigger tier abilities on the planet as possible, and then get them under a program with an altar, and then utilize their abilities for their intended purposes, and then lock away those abilities in altars and make it dormant as they're put back into their timeline that's they're perceiving as if nothing happened, and it's hard to utilize. I've even tried all these different strategies to resolve that, and it requires a bunch of going within time, and a power force that upwells to take to blast past the suppression, as well as the activation of the altar and reintegration of it. So that's what he needs for his telekinesis.
May
Or
I
the
just
ghosts.
jump in? Apologies for interrupting you. Out of all the practices that would result in this, one has worked for me. I'd like to share with you. And so please investigate, have a look into the tradition and the people that have done this. It's tuning into the energy of Mother Kali. And so this is a very powerful cosmic stream. It is a type of conscious energy. It's the energy of the divine feminine that becomes enraged and says, "You do not mess with my children." And if you've seen a mama bear taking care of her cubs, you understand the ferocity and power and determination of that consciousness. So try Kali mantras. Krim Kali Ai Nama. Yeah, Om Nama Kali. Yes, so there's so many varieties of this. Now, this comes with a respectful and polite caution that this energy purifies ego and illusion. So you're not just going to get potential existing blocks that are not natural, artificially imposed blocks removed, but a whole lot of other stuff that doesn't serve you. So please do enter with reverence, with respect towards yourself and towards this consciousness that you are asking for help. Again, it is something that you embody. It is not a contract. You are remembering that your consciousness, like a TV or radio, has the ability to tune into different channels. You're going now for that energy that is undeniably, unstoppably purifying. So that would be my respectful recommendation. Have a look at it. It's worked for me, and I was an idiot. So it's going to probably work for you too.
Nice. And for his question on visiting entities, you're going to want to practice your psionic abilities of either banishing, fortressing, pushing things out of your space, like detachment, putting up your boundaries, some deterrence of some type, which many people make different ones. Creating tons of love and positive emotions automatically push away negative entities, and are going into sleep state is one of the more weakened or unsecure usually times, because a lot of people don't do anything for it, or ceremonies or protection for their sleep. And if they got roommates or family members, and they got to deal with that too, coming in as other portals. So you can do out loud statements of your intention of what you're wanting to create. You can sing. You can make sound clearing. Your goal is to project forward in time a protection bubble around yourself during your sleep, as well as consequences. There's traps. There's all kinds of stuff people can make. And if you want help with that, just contact us, and we each got a different method and can secure things for you so your sleep gets way better. It's usually people are targeted again because they got rare stuff. You can find out what they're targeting, and then you can also secure that as well, and we'll help you with that.
Find out what they're targeting, dangle it like a little trap, like a little carrot on a string, and put a big trap down there, capture their dumb ass, and interrogate them. How dare you come into my ticket? Oh yeah, hey brother, there's so much you can do. It will bring you joy and bring out that childlike mischief, and you'll start giggling when you really remember how powerful you are. These guys usually come in, and I'm talking about the unrefined, selfish beings. There's so many of them, so many different varieties. Usually they find a mighty human that's playing this game of dumbass, right? Our eyes are closed, our ears are closed, we don't remember who and what we are, and our hands are tied and our legs are tied, and we're rolling around in the dust like morons. And then they look into our pocket and say, oh my goodness, look at these juicy soul codes. I want some of them. Now, as soon as you take off the eye coverings and start standing up, the game is over. So much is available to you. Don't be worried. Anything that's taken, you can retrieve it and replace it with something even better. My message is hope, right? Don't be worried. Get into contact with either one of us. We'll share our strategies, which will bring joy to you, because then it's going to unfold your strategies that you don't remember you already have, your own mastery coming in. So yeah, thanks for your comment and your question.
Exactly. And to go into a little bit, it feels like you have a rare sense and kind of seeing into a different aspect of reality, and something is targeting you for that, probably because of where you live and the environment, and your ability, you being a threat to it, because you can then become like a caretaker for what you're sensing into. Okay, so our next question, is nice, from Tal Hershko. I have a question. How can we use ancient alien artifacts and crystal skulls to awaken dormant DNA and to connect to it with our star family guides? Well, I got a crystal skull for you right here, as I did not have, I guess, time to go into it. Here's our new fun member here, but let me get rid of this green screen real quick. Okay, there we go. All right. So this is very nice. Upgrades physical abilities of various types, like strength, endurance, metabolism, all kinds of cool internal body tech. Very good at that one. Each one is good at different things, and if it's an actual alien artifact, even more so, because then ancient, and they get more of a soul and more powerful and have time to accumulate power and energy. And who made them will go into interesting things, like these long skull beings with wings and mermaid tails is what this one is connected to. And they'll show up in a vision for you. And there's UFOs on this one. And it glows in UV lights. Of course, as I've shown that too. You can just go to my shorts to see it in glowing effect. But let me see if I can show you. The mermaid tails are down here, I think. One's right here as an example. So all of them have that. So like winged long skulls with face apparatuses, holding orbs of different types and grant abilities. So those will be coming to you in vision. If you feel like ever questing them, they'll give you a little, everyone in the audience, it'll send you a little contact card, and then you can send it telepathic text messages.
It's beautiful technology. And now there's something about the sympathetic nature of magic. Sympathetic meaning that you have to state an intention in some sort of a way. So a child playing with a doll is playing out adulthood. That is sympathetic. It is used in healing, but also in destruction, where you have an effigy of a being. Or maybe you use a pot or something to represent your rage and you break it, right? These are all playing out in symbols. Now, using the symbol that is the skull means that the builders of this technology had a specific audience in mind, that is humanity. Looking at the location of the higher energy centers in the body, focusing your consciousness on this object is going to open up a portal. Suddenly, you get access to the wisdom of the builders. A whole conversation begins. Streams of other stuff that is belong to you but may be blocked. This device, this piece of technology allows you to access. These are wonderful. And you've got to treat them very, very gently too. They're sentient beings. You've got to be nice with them. Maybe like the level of softness of a 3-year-old, gently handling them. Because, of course, the builders sometimes have gone through trauma. That trauma is locked into the object too. So they're just magnificent. I've never held one, but remotely you can also, tune into it and see what it is telling you. It's fueled by your life force, by your consciousness. Where your consciousness goes, energy flows. It's like
You're going to be getting one in the future. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, and did you have anything else you wanted to say? Didn't mean to interrupt you.
This is wonderful. All these questions are opening up doors. Our audience are awesome. Hey, you guys rock. Yeah, I love you guys. Keep sending us questions.
Right. So let's see here. If I'm able to even do no, I get okay. Let me just show this artifact up close for people, and then I'll bring you back on the screen. So there's like different symbology and like techniques. Like the index finger in this is between the hand on the next, and there's like a interesting meditation type of stance and breath work with 2 breaths going in different direction towards an intention, as well as the ET higher mind that's expressed, and a third eye kind of like flowing river, it looks like, kind of thing, which you could say is just like a headdress. But then what's the origin of that headdress, and why isn't it seen much now? And so there's also going into the head, the higher consciousness doing a breath work, interestingly, and him holding a sphere, and the third eye touching the sphere, going deeper, which is a lot of this is activated by vision questing, which this one's geared towards God level healing. So you can earn God level healing abilities in this. There's like at least 1 million different vision questing mystery schools in this that you can access. If you can just do it from a distance. It's open to people. I clear them, I protect them, I heal the authorities involved in this sphere. It's a rare stone. It's not like clay or anything. They haven't really been able to find this kind of stone anywhere else. So analyzing it is a new thing. Very powerful, helped with a lot of healing energy in different times when I've needed it. I recommend connecting that one. And there's other ways, like you awaken. Some of the beings will be dormant. You awaken them. They'll contact you afterwards. Use telepathy with it. So vision, clairaudience, telepathy. Using certain abilities with what it needs and in the trading format. And then you do step by step more and more unlocks and artifacts. We're still unlocking. We haven't even touched upon like 1% of the ways you can activate these. It's crazy. I don't know how long it can go, but it's beautiful that I'm actually grateful for that. And also, if anyone out there wants a funny card against humanity kind of thing pull, let me know, and tell me what you want it for, and we'll do a little funny kind of reading just to add more comedy to this. And yeah, we'll go into more questions, and let us know in the chat if anyone wants to do okay with doing a call-in. Chrissy, we can talk about your son and all that. Are you okay with doing a call-in? Please let us know in the chat. And again, anyone out there, feel free to message us on Facebook or my email. Your contact info, and if you have WhatsApp, Telegram, or whatever, and are willing to take a call, and we'll do a little free reading for you and more in depth, and we'll be able to ask you deeper questions. But if it's something easy, feel free to just put it in the chat. Okay, so did you want to say anything on what you can tune into help for Chrissy's son has severe autistic level 3? Rage episodes, breaking all of his shit on a daily basis.
This young man is a very powerful soul that is incarnated into a human body. The amount of energy is way beyond what a human vessel should be able to handle. The purpose of this wonderful soul is the transmutation of concentrated darkness or evil. Now, anywhere he is present, he is pulling this out of the grid work, the natural grid lines of the earth, and burning it. And so the human body reenacts this spiritual activity with bursts of aggression, as it very much so is a war of divine balance. So towards soothing the human aspect, so that this young man will not cause physical harm towards himself first and foremost, but then in the objects, less important, of course. Music, soothing lullabies, soothing voice, the power of your voice, dear Christy. Now, this is something that even now will help him basically transmute that which is affecting the nervous system and the human body. So maybe even record some lullabies, not just your own voice. Look into your bloodline. You've got original American heritage, the real people that have a connection to the sacred land. All around North and Central and South America, the lullabies of your people will be soothing. So please do try this. That's what I'm getting for this powerful soul. It's not a regular soul shard. It's pretty much the equivalent of the consciousness of the sun in our solar system. This is a powerful being. And so kind of mixture between sun and fire dragon. Powerful. And so it's even for, let's put it this way, the nervous system must be a certain way so the body can take a certain type of soul. This is often seen in autistic children and adults, of course. First of all, anything that is agitating to him must be reduced, and then towards greater soothing of his energy, which is powerful, is volatile. That gentle music that works on a very fundamental level for children, for the inner being, for the inner vulnerable child. this is going to help him quite a lot. So record your voice, find lullabies. That's going to be really helpful for you. Thank you.
Right. And there needs to be a whole science for this that needs to come out, because various people have had success with autism, and like he said, it's there's going to be rare abilities in the person. They're usually very powerful in spirit and soul coming in, but there's all with that power, there's an equal amount of targeting that comes at them to hold them back and stop them from doing a big enough impact on the reality. And that's an unfortunate thing that this reality does. And it's so where's the filing system of that? And then taking care of that and healing it. And since it's there, I don't know their level of and what they're displaying, as some savantness will come out if especially unhindered, or at least a avenue for that is found and then cultivated. So you'll be able to answer that more. So you can let us know in data and information. I don't even know if you're still in the chats, but you can let us know with some information about it. I'm reading most of the anchor of the limitation is put in the ego layer and altars, which is interesting. You know about altars, Chrissy. So there's going to be a understanding for you where you can practice understanding the science yourself and probably write a book on it, and then support yourself and help the world with people that are needing this, because it's happening more and more, and more of these rare genetic lineages and souls that are coming in are being targeted at a greater pace with toxic environmental factors that are a medium for spiritual incursion at a high level to get deep into them, fortunately, in many different ways. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge out there for the environmental factors to detox from, to detach, as well as get those anchors out, so that not less and less new dark heaviness can be added, so that safeness can be felt, which is what the ego flares up to protect against and contain and quarantine from going deeper to the soul. And if you can cut off new stimuli of heaviness from coming in, then you can give size and scale to the weight on his shoulders spiritually, and then work at shrinking it down. Then the heaviness goes away, more safeness, lightness can be felt, more energy, power and abilities and knowledge and consciousness capability of what the level of the powerful spirit can come out and impress with like genius in different ways. And especially if you can read that, that's beautiful. I can help with that for sure. Especially if I get to see them and interact, and then see what they react to in stimuli, and then see what level they're at. It can get deep, but essentially big ball of negativity held on them. They don't feel safe. A lot of negative emotions can be influenced in emotional mind control, in like anger or sadness or outbursts, tantrums. And that will go with mastery of anger and understanding what that is, which is power to overcome a threat, if it's natural, if it's emitted from them, or if it's dumped on, and then it being compressed into a prison, so it's not allowed out to flow through the plumbing. And if it's not theirs, then it's dumped on them to cause drama, and it's not flowing in the correct manner, and then you need to resolve the source of the anger flowing in and being dumped on them. So I'm reading it's both. So that then that also goes into being a caretaker for the spiritual environment. So they feel safe enough to then have the main regular consciousness to come through, and then resolving the altars and why they're there, how they work. So it takes a whole science, unfortunately, but it has great fruition and lessons and things that can help a lot of people, and to where as you get your name out there that you can help with that, ooh, people will be hitting your door and hitting your phone up like, yeah, blast. Okay, so hope that helps, but I need more data going into it deeper. And I'm going to go through the other questions. So did you have any thing? Well, let me get a question for you, because I'm going to get another headphone real quick, and then while you're answering that, let's see. Okay, look. Okay, I think this is a question. I've heard that Hindu god Brahma, the creator aspect of the Trinity, is responsible for the Yuga cycle, and when the conditions make the turns happen. Where do you phase that we are in, please? What
I suppose,
you
what phase are
phase?
we in the grand
Okay.
cycle?
From I am
Okay,
a mad wizard. Thank you, Raphael, for asking that question. Go ahead. I'll get my thing.
cycles are levels of consciousness. We've got golden age, bronze age, iron age. So now we are at the end of the Kali Yuga, so the dark age, the heaviest state of consciousness. Now, these changes of phase don't happen overnight. The long calendar is 36,000 years. So there's a peak of civilization, then degeneration happens, and we go into a cycle of ignorance and darkness, and then there's a lifting or transition between them. So what's coming for humanity in the next 300 or so years is the next Satya Yuga, the golden age. It does take a state of transition, which is happening now. So everything in existence has a rhythm to it. This is not just limited to this universe. So associating this cyclical nature of everything to Brahma, that aspect of the divine, it seems to be appropriate. We're going through the dark ages where collectively we are allowing certain levels of darkness and trauma to bubble up, percolate to the surface, for them to be seen, understood, and transmuted. Now, along with this, we've got cyclical events of extinction that humanity has faced. Many of them, each cycle seems to be 10 to 12,000 years long. Last one was the Ice Age, and one before that was the flood, one before that volcanic activity, meteors hitting, you name it, it's happened. In fact, it seems that this project, that is the creation and evolution of humanity, we've been through about 30,000 of these cycles and extinctions. The good news is things are on the mend. This golden age is here to stay, because humanity has evolved to a level where they are ready. The purpose was building a machine, that is the human, that is resilient and capable of hosting a shard of source consciousness, undivided. This is possible. We see these in many beings throughout history, but very frequently now. They become Christ consciousness, bodhisattvas, very enlightened people. And you'd be surprised if you see them on the street. You'd never think that this is that being. We're reaching that level now. So where we are in the phase, about a 3-century transition period, then we're going to go into the next golden age, where we're going to beat the high score, reach levels of evolvement and refinement that humanity has never reached in any other period. So I hope that answers your question.
Well said. Um, I agree that the Hindu gods exist. I have met them. I've talked to them. They're very powerful. Now, what people think they are is a little limiting. Pretty much any high-level multidimensional being that's like a primordial or ancient, they don't really understand. And then even going into the whole Christian belief where like, oh, there's a war of gods and our God is the only one. And it's like, I talk to the source above all and the source of all, and they see themselves as everything and they're not at war with anything. And the Bible is a little bit of amalgamation between like over 6 different gods altogether, including Sumerian gods with the Anunnaki. So it's like, which one are you talking about, with different times that are interpreted, and like the whole warring God and jealous God and like I'm the only one thing. I don't recommend worshiping anything. It's like more of a commerce and understanding the authorities that are there. But they're all fractals and been, if they're original authorities, they're granted the ability versus evil dark gods that stole the ability, and that's the kind of thing that's going on here. And the light side is in varying ways of unified based on their roles and what they've taken up. A lot of them have fallen in grenades for people. So I like most of the Hindu gods. They've been very nice to me. The whole thing with the cycle that goes into both the precession and equinox of the great year of the binary star system between our sun and Sirius A, and as it gets farther away from us, lower consciousness, the Iron Age, and as it gets closer, the Golden Age, and increased amounts of consciousness level. And there's like cycles with that go into this understanding that not many people have, of that actually people learn from the whole polarity aspect of this world, of understanding both light and dark, good and evil, and why each exists to challenge one another so they get stronger. And the Iron Age is closer to the growth period of taking on a lot of darkness, with separating evil from darkness. Darkness is more into, like, let's say masculine, feminine, the feminine taking the light role, though they have both, so not like being sexist or anything. They're feminine birthing divine light and creation and new concepts into existence. Though if it's by itself, it does not have enough protection for when the evils come by, and it hits it down as it becomes a brighter light that attracts those moths to the flame. And so let's say the masculine is taking on the role of positive darkness and being the defense, offense, fortress, boundaries, destruction, and holding back evil at whatever is necessary to stop it, so that the light can grow in propensity and then it can trade. So darkness is resilience and being able to survive in any place, even hellish places. So that the resilience is needed so that the creational structure can be strong and survive any catastrophe continuing. And so there's like a ebb and flow with each coming in and out of closeness with that star. The aspects to the cycle of reincarnation and rebirth and the karma and this world of perceived suffering is for lessons. It's not a vacation world. It's not like, oh, the priority of this realm isn't to like become be able to use any ability you want whenever and do whatever you want. It's to learn lessons and grow tremendously and past things that were really strong attachments that would hold you back in various ways, as well as wounds and karma. So resolving all that super quickly as you're here with whatever you decided to incarnate into tech, in the DNA technology and what you're coming with. So is responsible for the condition in turn. What the phase that we are in place. So like there's various layers, like he said, we're going towards the golden age. What level? Because people also will make different words like iron, bronze, silver, and all that. I've heard multiple different ones, so it's like whatever. It's mostly based on how close we are in this binary star rotation with the star. If you want to go into accurately categorizing it, though, it's all you need to know is we're getting lighter and away from the denser part of reality. So we're going to the easement period. And there are also other big cycles beside that, such as like the photon cloud and these other dense clouds that we're going through, and their meaning in these interesting cycles of bigger macrocosmic bodies and what's coming to us in energy that we can utilize and learn from and transmute into something of usefulness into our magic, empowerment, awareness, and greater higher states of consciousness to be learned from and become resilient even past amnesia or whatever they're throwing at us, because they're throwing as much as they can at us. Okay, so there's that, and I'm just going through the rest of the questions. Let's see here. A good answer, and let me know in between as I'm looking at questions if you have any profound big question for me, and I'll go through that too.
So I've got one here. Anita is asking about how to discern if a healer is with integrity or if they're violating free will. So I typed a response, but I'd like to get your take on it. I basically suggested powerfully connecting to source and trusting intuition, your own gut feeling and your own guidance. Usually, the first thing that you pick up about a person, practitioner, is there something wrong or right? That the first instinct, your gut feeling, that inner voice will not lead you astray. And then usually people will begin to drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak, and then it's usually too late. Before you know, you're sitting in the middle of the jungle and you're a member of a cult singing Kumbaya. So yeah, don't allow that to go to that stage. Don't let it go too far. Trust your first impression. What your heart, your brilliant mind, and your infinite soul tell you, that's usually the right answer.
And the question was about when healing, how to discern if you're violating free will.
Regarding practitioners, regarding healers, how would one identify if they are, say, for example, abusing magic to pull in more clients and customers, so that's the nature of the question.
Wait, so it's beyond just healing for anything?
So let me just read it. I've noticed more and more healers using powers that manipulate free will, often for sales. And I get the impression that many of these people don't even realize they are doing anything malicious. Can you speak to this and how to have certainty that one is working in the light?
Oh, cool. I like that one. And I actually went over that in my show on abundance. One of the things people asked for was how to bring in more people for their business and customers. And that's a big topic. And any ability you cultivate, you want to have it so it's in alignment with natural law, moral code, do no harm, take no shit. So what is harm in that is if you're mind controlling or you're imposing your will, attachment, invading their space. So that's the procedure. So you make rules of your extension of your abundance body tech in interaction with that. So, and law of attraction and emotions and spirit entourage or whatever, where they don't do that. And your goal is, if you want that type of ability in alignment with natural law, you're having yourself, your source is very intelligent, especially manage it. So source centers in your heart. You use the ability through love, and your goal is to intelligently scan the collective consciousness for people in need of what you're providing in value, so that you're going for those that would want it. You're not like imposing, and you're resonating inside them an emotional need at pinpoint times where they see your advertising or a way to connect to you, and then it resonates, and you show your deeper part of the truth of yourself, so that they can choose if it's for them or not, and they can research it, pursue it, and especially if you have various types of value, then you have more to show and offer. And even without Psionics, this just does this. And so the way you'd be amplifying in a good way is you're amplifying your love, so that they can feel love, and they feel you don't want it to be like fake and all that, but like most people that are fake can't really do this anyway. So if the more positive vibrational motions you're emitting, it amplifies the circuit, and to where people that interact with you in a passing or whatever, they can get a little bit of a vibe check if you're worthy and you're a good person to go to. There's so many factors to that. You don't even need Psionics to to make the case that they come to you if you have what it actually takes and aren't fake. And also going into where you're not using attachment, you're not, because what are the dark things that I've seen in strategies? Usually entities, overwhelming a person, emotional mind control, or like there's even ones that go into like relationships that like love spells that like will get parts of a person and then use that for obsession, and get the person to think about them constantly and think they're in love. So that those are the things to look out for. There is an infinite number of positive ways you can amplify attracting people to you in clientele, and inspiring like if they're resonant to where they're actually looking for something, then it's not against their free will. That if you're able to work in unity and positive boundaries with that individual to inspire them of a thought, hey, maybe I'll look up this thing, and then they somehow find you, or whatever avenue, because there's all kinds of ways to do that. So if they're imposing against your free will, mind control, emotional mind control, and using especially negative things that don't benefit you, because it isn't really it's not harmful if you give them things. Like a lot of people, they'll use the term, it's like fishing. You give, like, and not into the where like you give a little bait and then the hook and it's to where that's just a metaphor. It to where you're giving a space of some abundant thing that's of value that attracts, and it benefits the potential clientele, so that they can look down the rabbit hole of finding you in some way, or in the event where that advertising is before them, so they get a feeling sensation that isn't against them, not manipulative, not stealing, not harmful, but gives to them, and then they want to seek more.
Beautifully said. Absolutely. So if there is a resonance and a potential for mutual benefit, mutual growth, equal exchange, for a person that would potentially benefit from a certain type of healing, or let's say working, for them to become aware of the presence of each other, or the client to the practitioner, know that such and such person exists. Initially, there's no pull or push or anything, and then the person would look into the works of this healer or shaman or practitioner, by whatever name you call them, It's like you want to go for some surgery and you've got all these different doctors. How would you choose your surgeon if you had the choice to pick? It's the same drill. So doing your own due diligence, trusting your own intuition, and also looking at people who've worked with this practitioner or healer before. What do they say? Is there an openness? Can you look into the work? So, for example, I do, with permission of some of the clients that do allow me to do this, I do put whole sessions out there. Somebody may look at me and say, "Oh, this guy's cuckoo," and then somebody else will feel the energy and say, "Okay, yes, this sounds to be interesting." You see, there's no compulsion. And Sean put this really well. You're not pulled, you're not obsessed, you're making a free will choice. And so, again, to avoid that sort of, let's say, negative and harmful aspect, it requires you to be a master of your own discernment and your own energy, not to be weak willed. So, self mastery and self awareness, these are important. Then, of course, trust yourself. You've got so much built in wisdom, it will not send you astray.
Nice. And we got somebody that messaged us about a live reading, so I'll do a call in for them. But also got somebody asking for the funny card. Let's see if I can find it again. Just trying to, oh yeah, here we go. Athena, I believe, is asking for a card. The card is green screen. I don't know if I can even see this. Bosnian chicken farmers. Oh my God, this card. Green screen. Come on. Okay, I don't know. Whatever. It says Bosnian chicken farmers. Okay, so it points to farmers. So you need to be farming. If you want a funny card, also say what you want it for. But otherwise, I'll just do it for amplified magic, since this is Wizard Show, whatever. So it wants you to work on farming. There are things that have different types of generators. Either you can just farm energy or magic itself. There are certain types of plants like lavender that you can farm that can make magic. And also there's a type of magic in different types of plants. Most plants can amplify to generate, make a generator. And you can get good at farming for those, but there's also internal farming. You have generators in yourself. All these generators, you make them feel safer, protected, able to flourish, nourished, nurtured, and they will generate more units of energy or magic a second. And then you build up a higher density of magic and make it abundant so that you can outpour. And like we're going into the abundance aspect, in order to attract and receive, you have to build abundance in energy to project and give. You're giving to the world. You're being cultivating gratitude, the state of already having abundance. Okay, so let's go into Tammy Waite. I believe her name is, and I don't know.
Athena, if I may jump in, I just pulled 3 runes very quickly for her.
Yeah.
First one, Thurisaz. This is the rune of Thor. It's the shield, the reactive force. You're protected. Next one is Gebo, gift. Something awesome cometh your way, my wonderful friend. And then again, it seems you've got more protection, algaes. So there are 2 runes of protection in the Elder Futhark set. You have all 2. So protection from evil, a powerful gift coming in, and protection from evil. Whatever you're doing, the divine, the light, the cosmos is in favor, and they're looking out for you. They've got your back.
Nice. Love it. Okay, so I'll see if I can gear up to call this person. They didn't give me a if it's WhatsApp or Telegram, so yeah, I'll give it a shot of calling them on phone, but I hope it doesn't charge me or anything. I don't think it should, but it depends if it's really far away. So we'll see.
From another dimension.
Yeah, and actually, since they're on my Facebook, I'll just call them on Facebook.
Beautiful.
Okay, we got a bunch more questions. Thanks for coming in, everyone. Let's see if I can get it to where we can hear them. So Tammy, you're up. Let's hopefully get you on call. Okay. Tammy Waity, I am calling you on Facebook. Hopefully it works. If not, I'll give them another call on their phone that they gave me, but I don't know why they wouldn't be able to pick up on Facebook, but whatever, we'll see. And while we're waiting on that, I'll set you up for another question that we have. Okay, let's see here. Oh, didn't answer. Okay, I'll go to the phone. Okay, the question from Light Living is ADD treatable spiritually?
Okay. Why treat a superpower? Please look at it in a different way. Yeah, you're afflicted with awesomeness. Why would you say, I'm ADHD as hell? Yeah, I understand what it is. You see, our ancestors had different traits that would guarantee the survival of the collective. Some people are gatherers. They can sit down and clean vegetables for 16 hours. And then we've got the others that are the super hunters. They take one look at the running animal, throw the spear, and then look away. They've already done the math in their head. It's basically sharpened focus for a limited duration. And so therefore, people with this condition are especially gifted in spiritual work, something that would take the vegetable cleaner 3 months to do. You pierce through the veil and do it in 30 seconds. So please look at the way your neurology, this wonderful body, is set up to work, and work with your body, not against it. So if you want to maintain higher levels of focus, you got to mix and match, because your attention span is 15 minutes. I've worked with probably 3,000 students throughout my career, and I've seen lots of them. You got to mix and match. A little bit of this, then change it up. A little bit of this, keep it interesting. There's nothing wrong with you. You're a super hunter. So now with this awareness, go forth and be merry.
Well said. And I agree with that. Calling Tammy, they're saying they can't answer. I don't know why your phone's not answering too, but I'll keep trying. But again, anyone that wants a free reading before we end the show, send us a message quick with either on Facebook or your number, and let us know if it can go to WhatsApp or whatever, so it's made simple and there's no mess ups. Anyway, so yes, it is a superpower. It's like Vikings back in time. They're able to slow down time and do well in battle. You can multitask at a high level. The only thing that is bad would be lack of focus, which is a trainable thing. And I have that, and I've quote unquote cured it or whatever, which is taking the superpower and amplifying it, but also training in the fault, which is focus. So you have to you can research methods of what trains focus. I recommend Bagua, which is a nice martial arts where you go around in a circle while focusing intensely on something. And the Psionics aspect, which is to be maintained, is that focus, you can see it as an actual sphere that has things pulling at your focus in all different directions of attachment in the mind. And some people's focus is out to the size of the solar system and being pulled on. And your goal is to detach and clear and purify all the things pulling at it and bring it down to a collapsible point and cultivate focus and the value and understanding of what focus is, and that it comes with a lot of cool things. Like if you're able to focus on any given thing, like your body internally, and compress all that focus down into a singular laser point, chi follows it, chi attracts to it. And when you're emotionally cultivating something like love or healing, then that builds up in that area, and then that amplifies your mastery of like abilities like healing and power. So the big thing is power cultivation, because you can really feel it when you compress the power focus in to like the center of your heart or solar plexus, and you get tons of energy. Now, focus of mind. The school system sucks. It's a cage, and it's like the prison system. It's very much like an actual prison system. And so a lot of these people just don't want to be there. I didn't want to be there. It sucked ass. It was like teaching people to be useful workers. So there's a reason they're rebellious to that. And so you'd have to convince them that it's worth their time to go through a prison system, and really go at the frame of understanding where they're coming at, which they might not even know themselves. They just feel it, that this is an indoctrination camp. And it's not to, their goal isn't to stay like that. God, it's so stupid too. Like me trying to justify school, honestly. The only like good thing they get out of it is a degree, and even that is like waning in time. And college, my God, is a scam. But it depends on your pathway, what you're passionate about. If it actually aligns with their passion, some people can learn on their own. So the deadly thing is if they can't learn on their own, if they can be autodidactic and learn faster, that's great. But if they can't and they just want to play video games all day, then yeah, they kind of need to go through like a something that teaches them, because a lot of these generations are getting stupider and giving their attention away to AI. So it's an awful thing that's happening, but a lot of it's the parents' responsibility. So and they are also being distracted and in a slave job. So then when they come home, they don't want to do anything but chill out and watch TV. So it's a big cycle of this this thing where people aren't getting
numbing the mind and exhausting the body.
Yeah,
that's really
they're not getting the attention they require, the nourishment from that attention, so they can't give attention externally or see why they should. So there's like a core to this type of thing that can, if you get to the core of their motivations, because their lack of focus is in their lack of drive or motivation to see things as worthy. So if you get to the bottom of that, then you can like inspire it and get them to understand that it's a necessary thing, and change their perspective on it, so they're not in like kind of mode to like, oh, I see why. And let me also, because it gives you part of like them not doing that kind of thing is giving the parents a feeling of them not being respected, to where they're not doing well in school or can't focus on things or learn things or attention. So the kid also has a different frame, and their conscious level isn't always focused externally or empathic. So you also need to cultivate their ability to see past themselves and emotionally feel for others, including you, the parent, and to understand why it's like what you do for them, and that they need to equalize that, as well as build themselves so that they're their own person and they're not a child anymore, in a way that like it's to be excited about becoming an adult. and that they can be self-reliant and hold themselves up. And you also want to help them pursue what they love and they're passionate about. And like, I liked video games. It was fun and all that. But looking back on it, retarded. It's just an addiction. It's like being trapped in the Matrix. Don't let your kids get to where they're like some selfish, just thinking about themselves, wasting their time. The understanding that helped me like later on is, you think like video games cost like 60, $80. They're really like tens of thousands, millions of dollars, because they are preventing you from making your own money and making your own life better. They are making a timeline where all these awesome things would happen disappear. And they're putting your focus into a false reality instead of the game that we're playing at a bigger scale. So their understanding and excitement for the real game needs to be inspired as well. So there's a lot of things. It just sucks how our reality is where it is, where we can't. This lack of attention is passed down from generation to generation. Okay. So now the next question is, I have a question for you both. What are your thoughts on ayahuasca? And I'll look if anyone's doing the call.
If I may begin, thank you for your patience, Sean. Okay, Karen, I hope you're doing extremely well. As Earth went through different stages of invasion and suppression and control, one of the only species that never bowed down to the oppression was the plant kingdom. This cannot be said for many species. And so they maintained their connection to the beloved source of all things in a very powerful way. They are the first form of life on Earth, and so they are older than all of us, and they've accumulated greater wisdom. And so therefore they facilitate connection to source. Now this has to be done under the correct protocol. Essentially, you can't just walk into a unknown neighborhood, or for that matter, go into somebody's house and disrespect them, meaning that you have to conduct yourself with integrity and good manners. So therefore, there is ceremony involved with taking any of these plant medicines. Now, our ancestors knew about certain ways or protocols to approach these master souls in the correct way. So ayahuasca, depending on how you approach it, can be very, very illuminating, or it could be something that could be on the level of traumatic. As you enter, please do prepare. Cleanse your body, cleanse your energy. If you're smoking, stop smoking. If you're drinking alcohol, stop. 2-3 weeks in advance, prepare yourself for something that's going to be a roller coaster of 10 incarnations. Because if you go in with reverence, you will be treated with the respect that you show. And so if you go in and you get a profound vision, insights, connect with the master, the soul of that plant, and benefit from it, that is good. Don't overdo it. There are people that just go overboard. 300 ayahuasca trips. No. If it's not working in the first 2 or 3, it's not for you. So yes, my dear friend Karen, good manners. This is usually something that works everywhere. This is also one of those. Pray to Mother Gaia, the spirit of the forest and the spirit of the plant. Do it with a shaman that knows what they're doing. Again, often the plants are doing their job, the shamans are corrupt. And so while you're there tripping balls, excuse my language, they're inserting negative things into you. This happens more than you think. So please do your due diligence, trust your intuition, conduct yourself with grace, dignity, and politeness, and it is very likely you're going to get something really good out of it. This is true for many types of medicine. The wisdom and the teaching of the plants and mushrooms come in if you are polite and you demonstrate that you are worthy.
Good point. Yeah, I like ayahuasca. That's the mother talking to you, Earth Mother, and I've had multiple experiences with it. Um, Good and bad, though the bad was never ayahuasca's fault, like you said. It would go more towards um, explaining reflections internally as well as other people in the group, because a lot of people they how the money of this system works is having a whole group at once, which a lot of people have big swinging dick syndrome with the shamans, and it's like you don't know who you're bringing in. They might be a god dormant, and they got god level threats that are holding them back. And unless you're like a super shaman, you can't even begin to know what the hell you can do to be ready to handle that. So yeah, there are corrupt shamans. There's vampiric shamans, wannabe spiritual shamans, and that's not to like insult people that want to do that, because it's important work to get out there, and there's not many people teaching it or passing like a university, so it's understandable that there aren't very many good shamans, and I have my faults as well. It's not easy, especially depending on what you're doing. You have to do a lot of space ceremonies. It takes a lot of energy. They do not get paid enough, shamans, to be able to hold up what they're holding on. So like I could imagine they wouldn't even want to put enough energy output to do that. And then the steps to clear themselves to make it so that their own dirty energy can't be felt. If because like I think that's a little bit more of you're gonna find there are vampiric evil shamans out there, but there are even more so shamans that aren't fully ready to handle things, as well as they might not have done fully the energetic cleanliness to not negatively affect the trip of the person that's going in deep, and the ability to make safe space and protect from entities being attracted to the environment, which is the other factor, environmental factors, and where you are and what can see you, and the ayahuasca dimension itself, and not many people being able to caretake it. Then sometimes the brew itself can get haunted, but that not being the fault again of the ayahuasca either, because that can be environmental factors, the shaman, the process of making it, where it came from, and then not the proper ceremony to clear it and bring it to its pure state, and then honoring it. A lot of people take drugs recreational, whatever, the word, and recreational, yeah, and they, coming from a Muggle stance, and some that's okay with like mushrooms and stuff, because the mushrooms are willing to give you a good time a lot of the first few trips to get you to keep coming back, because they want you to do the work. But then they're giving the weight of the operations to you and having you face yourself and face the dark parts of yourself, which is eventually what you'll do. And that's the big work, because that's the you facing the dark parts of yourself is you and especially if you're able to transmute it, which I hope that's the thing, they want to give the person tools so they can overcome it, so it doesn't overcome them and change their personality and make them crazy or paranoia or an open portal or whatever, which can happen, which is what the vigilant Christians will go into. This is of the devil, and we this is bad stuff, and that just they surround themselves with confirmation bias of bad trips to like, oh yeah, this is them interacting with devils and stuff. A lot of it's your internal stuff. Some of these are versions of you, some of these from your environment, attachment, things in your ego. The big thing to do is get good at loving detachment and letting go of stuff that comes up, as well as facing it. Think parts of yourself to love and embrace. So you want to admit both loving detachment, so you can let go of the heaviness and embrace your lights. And some of it, I've even had trips where like I'll see something big in the environment and it has nothing to do with me, and then I have to get big in consciousness and take on a big responsibility and overcome that thing. And I don't really like tripping with other people anymore because they can't always handle the things that they got going on, and then I end up having to because it comes after me. But now, but I can hold space without tripping for other people really easily, where I get shift the nightmare into a daydream and bring them back to a state where it's all nice. So that's much easier for me now. So again, if you're accessing your divinity and you're like a dormant God level thing inside yourself, and somehow it felt that was the thing that wanted to come out, they need to pay shamans more for that kind of thing, though they need to be taught better, of course. So I love Earth Mother. I saw a lot of cool stuff when I went to that. Make a lot of prep work for it. Honor the spirit. Make a lot of safety nets. Don't you doing it in the sunlight is a safety net. Nature is a safety net. A bonfire is a safety net. Music, good positive, calm music is a safety net. Things that can take care of darkness whenever it comes in and shrink it out of the reality, because it wants to take over a little screen, is because it's attention grabbing. It's like crying at its core, like a child that hasn't been able to receive love, or whatever it is, because this trains psionic abilities, these things, but sometimes you're thrust into it and you haven't ever tried the ability, and that's not always fun. So you want to gain some abilities to be able to take care of your space with whatever happens. Big things, though, it can really shift your power level. Okay, so we're around 2 hours, so let's wrap it up. So smash that like, subscribe to both our channels, and I'll have him name his channel, and leave some nice comments. Tell us if you want to see more of these shows. Share this with 5 friends if you want to see more of this content. This will make it so we're more motivated to do this even more often. So Amir, tell them how to reach yourself. Let me get rid of this. You don't have your
I haven't set things up. Yep. So you can all find me at my website, wizardofwivenhoe.co.uk. And I've got a YouTube channel, same name. Please do subscribe. Your support is much appreciated. And I do offer healing, and I do offer teaching of technology, spiritual evolutionary technologies. If you feel called, it would be an honor to be of service to you. So thank you very, very, very much. We both love you guys. You're awesome. You are the wind in our sails. And bless us all. May we evolve. May we always be happy and healthy. Thank you.
Yeah, we both have great mystery schools, and come learn some abilities barely anyone knows, and we'll teach you and change your life and make everything better, amplifying your pathway to great success and manifesting your dreams, your happiness, your loves, your soul family, amazing experiences, crazy stuff that can manifest, like alien artifacts that you can find that barely anyone has or knows about, or the aspect of reality that will open up more and more disclosure, beings visiting you, talking to you, telepathy, vision questing, amplifying your magic, your abundance, turning on your love so that everything just makes everything better. Any other events or things you have coming up you want to mention, or books or anything you want to advertise?
I'm comfortably floating on the waves of divine will. I've learned not to plan seriously. The monkey brain is overstated. What needs to come comes and falls into my lap. I don't even manifest anymore. I'm just happily going la di da di da. There's no such thing as too much cheesesteak, yeah, and it seems to be working out quite nicely. That delusion of self is gone. I'm grateful for what comes, and may it be beneficial to all. So yeah, short answer is no.
Nice. Okay, I'm Sean Bond, founder of SonicLeague, SonicLeague.com. SonicLeague YouTube for videos, many superhuman abilities you can watch. Subscribe to that. And again, share these if you want to see more of the Tale of Two Wizards shows. And I also have events coming up with Mexico and other places like England and things that we'll be doing in travels. Amir is coming on this next Mexico trip, so he's in for some awesome adventures we're gonna have together, and so we're gonna finally get to meet in person. That'll be fun. And yeah. So just if you're interested in those trips, to sonicleague@gmail.com, just send me trip inquiry and I'll add your name to the list of potentials, and we'll do a call at some point, and then we'll see if it's right for you. Magical adventure of activating your divinity from pyramids to so many pyramids, and interaction with aliens, alien artifacts, be summoning hot springs, healing of all kinds, a mystery school where you learn a bunch of abilities. So as you get to meet Amir and talk to him, actually, for this trip. So, but like, let us know if you're interested in all that, and we got you. And you can contact me again at Sonic League for clearings, healings, depossessions, unlock your dormant abilities, abundance, read things to you, what's going on, who you are, past life, Akasha records, going deeper, soul shard retrieval, all these things to reclaim your power, and also, of course, consultation. So reach me for those, contact, and there's a big empowering unfoldment of who you truly are, and finding out the secrets that are within your heart, and you're accessing your candy store of infinite potential, treasure chest that you got within. So hit us up, both up, share this show out, get it out to the world, expand the magic for multiple people, and you will be getting magical upgrades for every time you share this video. We're giving that to people, so look out for those. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Thank you for sharing to one or two. Okay, so thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Love you. I'll see you later. Thank you for coming. Look out for the next shows we got.
Indeed. Take care.